So welcoming to all to this GATE class on structural analysis. In this video, we are going to see what are the questions coming from the topic cables. So cables is from overall point of view in respect of GATE exam, the cables have lesser importance when compared to other topics. So we will see what are the questions, possibility of questions asking from the topic cables. So cable resists external loads by dash tension, compression, bending, compression and bending. So we know the cable always resists the external load by tension because we can remember. So you can remember we will find a cable and it is subjected to an horizontal thrust H and all the points on the cable will be in tension. So we will find T max is equal to root of B square plus H square. So which is tension, maximum tension in the cable. So the cable resists the external load only by tension. So option A is correct. Next question. The shape of the cable under horizontally uniformly distributed load is. So it is the shape of the cable when it is subjected to an uniformly distributed load. Let it be of intensity W per meter. The shape of the cable will be parabolic. The shape of the cable will be parabolic as shown in the drawing. So the answer is parabolic. What are the other options? Catenary, circular and triangular. When it is subjected to a point load, the shape of the cable, when it is subject to a point load, it will vary according to the load. It may be like this or it may be like this. So it depends upon the loading conditions. So when it is subjected to a uniformly distributed load as given in the question, the shape of the cable will be parabolic. And here I wish to add one more point. If we want to maintain the same shape of the cable, that is parabolic, this is the safe condition. So to maintain the safe shape of the cable, we have to use stiffening girder. So it will be like this. So if the cable is like this, the stiffening girder will be hanging in the hangers and suspenders. So there are two stiffening girders. It is 2-hinged stiffening girder and 3-hinged stiffening girder. This is 3-hinged stiffening girder. So it has 3-hinged support. So this cable strengthens the stiffening girder, whereas the stiffening girder stiffens the cable. So it helps in maintaining the shape of the cable throughout. So whatever be the loading condition acting on the cable, whether it is a point load or UDL, it will convert it to an equivalent UDL and transfer it to the cable. This is the main advantage of using stiffening girder. So moving on to the next question. So if sag of the cable suspended between 2 points subjected to a temperature rise, then the horizontal component of the tension in the cable will. So a cable is subjected to 2-point loads. Let it be like this. So if there will be a tension, this vertical reaction and horizontal reaction. So when there is a temperature rise, what will be the horizontal reaction? So when there is a temperature rise, it will increase. So the answer is increase. Shape of the cable suspended between 2 points. So as I said already, the shape of the cable varies according to the load. If it is a parabolic, if it is subjected to UDL, the shape of the cable will be parabolic in nature. So when it is subjected to 2-point loads or more than 3-point loads, it will vary like according to that point load. So it depends upon the loading condition. So here they are asking between 2 points. So we don't know which point will, what is the sagging condition of the under that point load. So it depends upon the load. A suspension bridge with a 2-hinged stiffening girder is statically. So this here is a suspension bridge. So here is the deck slab. To prevent the deformation of the shape of the cable, we will strengthen this cable by providing a stiffening girder. There are two types of stiffening girder, as I said before, that is 3-hinged stiffening girder and 2-hinged stiffening girder. Here, this is a 2-hinged stiffening girder, as there are only two equations, that is 2-hinged. Here, there are 4 unknowns, that is VA, VB, HA, and HB. But there are only 3 equilibrium equations, such as summation of V equal to 0, summation of H equal to 0, and summation of M equal to 0. So the answer is, it is indeterminate to degree 4 minus 3 equal to 1, indeterminate of degree 1. A suspension bridge with 2-hinged stiffening girder is statically indeterminate of degree 1. So these are the basic 1-mark questions which are asked in GATE regarding the topic cables. So major importance is given to analysis of indeterminate structures, so both in ESC exams and GATE exams. So let us have some basic introduction about the analysis of indeterminate structures. So basically there are two methods. Please be wait, I am sharing the whiteboard. So basically there are two methods. So the first one is displacement method and second one is force method. And we are all familiar with the terms displacement method and force method. And what are the methods used in structural analysis will fall under the category of any of these two methods. Any of these two methods. So first one is displacement method. First one is displacement method. And next one is force method. So in displacement method, here the unknown parameters in displacement method or degree of freedom denoted by letter dk. So which means it may be a rotation, that is theta, or deflection del. So in combination they are known as displacement. So if displacements are unknown in an analysis of a structure, then we should follow displacement method. Here the unknown parameters are degree of indeterminacy. So that is, what are that? Forces and moments. So if moments and forces are unknown, then we have to follow force method. If rotation and deflection are unknown, we have to follow displacement method. So here we will use equilibrium equation solved by using equilibrium equations. Here, in addition to equilibrium equation, we will use compatibility equation. So equilibrium equation plus compatibility equation. So the equilibrium equation in the sense, sum of all moments meeting at joint is equal to the external applied moment at the joint. Sum of all moments meeting at the joint. So let it be NB. So A, B, C, consider a beam A, B, C. So it will be MBA plus MBC is equal to 0 in case there is a applied moment such like M. Then MBA plus MBC is equal to M. Sum of the all moments meeting at the joint is equal to the external applied moment, which is MBA plus MBC is equal to 0. If there is an applied moment, MBA plus MBC is equal to M. In case of force method, the condition observed is total deflection at the intermediate support must be equal to 0. Total deflection at the intermediate support will be equal to 0. So consider a beam which is simply supported. So the deflection at the intermediate support which is equal to 0. So when this method is more suitable means this method is more suitable when we have lesser degree of freedom. When we have lesser degree of freedom. So displacement method will be more advantage when we have lesser degree of freedom. When we have lesser degree of indeterminacy, force method will be useful. And this method is more useful when the structure has more degree of opposite to that. More degree of indeterminacy, and force method will be very much advantageous when it has more degree of freedom, Please, ma'am. Next. This method is suitable for computer programming. Displacement method is suitable for computer programming. This method is suitable for computer programming. Whether it will be difficult to use in computer programming. So what are the methods under slope deflection method? Sorry, displacement method and force method means displacement method. Under displacement method, we have first one, slope deflection method. And it was formulated by George A. Manning. Next method, moment distribution method. So moment distribution method was coined by Professor Hardy-Cross. Next, third method is Kani's method. This is an improvised form of moment distribution method. And this method was trained by Jasper Kani. And this is more advantageous when it is useful for tall buildings. So next method is stiffness coefficient method. stiffness method, and finally equilibrium method. Similarly, in case of force method, we will have Castigliano's method, Castigliano's theorem or method, which is also known as energy method, which is also known as energy method. Followed by second one is column analogy method. Column analogy method, which was coined by Professor Hardy-Cross. Professor Hardy-Cross. So next third one is Clapeyron's three-moment theorem. Clapeyron's three-moment theorem, which is used for the analysis of continuous beam. Followed by flexibility coefficient method. Flexibility coefficient method. Flexibility method. Flexibility method. And sixth one is compatibility method. Compatibility method. And seventh one is method of consistent deformation. Method of consistent deformation. Moment area method. Moment area method. And ninth one is unit load method. And ninth one is unit load method. So these are the list of methods which are classified as force method and displacement method. So when we come to previous page, here in displacement method, the unknown parameters are the displacement, that is rotation and deflection. So while solving all these methods, that is slope deflection method, moment distribution method, Kani's method, stiffness coefficient method, and equilibrium method, the unknowns will be displacements. Whether in case of force method, Castigliano's theorem, column analogy method, Clapeyron's three-moment theorem, flexibility coefficient method, and flexibility compatibility method. So method of consistent deformation, moment area method, and unit load method. Here the unknowns will be forces and moments. So this displacement method is also known as equilibrium method, and force method is also known as compatibility method. So we will have 1 mark questions from these lists and given a 4 types of methods of analysis, and you will be asking to find out the displacement method. Which one of the following is the displacement method, or which one of the following is the force method, or identify the odd one out. Then who framed the moment distribution method? See here, you can easily remember in displacement method, Professor Hardy-Cross has framed moment distribution method, and in force method he has framed column analogy method. So try to remember all those methods and if, in which category it falls. For solving this most of the methods, we should have here the term which is known as fixed end moment. Fixed end moment. So it is nothing but when there is a beam, when there is a continuous beam, or when there is a beam, let it be A, B, C, it is subjected to some kind of loading. So let it consider it will be subject to an UDR, and here it is subject to a point load. So fixed end of moment is nothing. We will take an individual span, that is AB, and we will consider that the ends are fixed. ends are fixed. Now, based on the loading conditions acting on the span, what will be moment at the end? So this is known as fixed end moment. So based on the loading condition acting on the span, if the ends are fixed, what is the moment acting at the ends of the beam? So it will be MFAB and MFBA. If there is no loading in the span, so it is like this, then MFAB is equal to 0. MFBA is equal to 0. So here there is a 1 mark question from competitive exam. If a span AB is subjected to no loading, what will be the fixed end moment at end AB? The answer will be equal to 0. So let's have what are the different loading conditions possible and what are the fixed end moments for that corresponding loading condition. So let's take a new page. So make a tabular column for making this. So this is type of flow, AB and MFBA. So again type of flow, MFAB and MFBA. So this is type of loading. This is MFBA, MFAB. Then again type of loading, MFBA and MFAB. So starting with the point load. When it is subjected to a point load at the center, then the fixed end moment will be minus WL by 8 and plus WL by 8. When the load is not acting at the center, it acts as a distance A meter from left end. Then it is minus WAB square divided by L square and WA square B by L square. So minus WAB square by L square, WA square B by L square. So consider 2 point loads are acting, W and W. So which are acting at a distance A, B and A. So it will be minus of W into A plus B divided by L. And this is a positive sign. So W into A plus B divided by L. So next moving on. So these are the conditions for point loads. So when we come to UDL, when a beam is subjected to UDL throughout the span, when a beam is subjected to UDL throughout the span, it will be W per meter. The value will be minus WL square by 12 and it will be plus WL square by 12. So next condition, when the UDL is acting to some extent, that is for a span A meter of the throughout span L meter. So it is acting only up to span A. So A, up to A and UDL is acting, let it be W per meter. Here, the condition is minus WA square into BL square minus 8AB plus 3A square divided by 12L square. In case of MFBA, so here I have made a mistake. This is AB and this is So this is MFAB and this is MFBA and this is MFAB and this is MFBA. So for this one, MFBA is WA cube 4L minus 3A divided by 12L square. When the beam is subjected to uniformly varying load, when a beam is subjected to uniformly varying load of intensity W at right end and 0 at left end, then it will be WL square by 30 and WL square by 20. In case of UVL of this condition, both the values will be in positive. If the UVL is maximum intensity this side, then it will be of reverse, that is WL square by 20, and here it will be WL square by 30. Next, subjected to a central moment, M. So it will be M by 4 for both the cases. MFAB is also M by 4 and MFBA is also M by 4. When the moment is acting not at the center point, it is acting at some other distance of A from end A, then MB by L square into 3A minus B. MB by L square into 3A minus B. Whether for BA it is MA by L square, MA by L square into 3B minus L. So when the UVL is of triangular shape, the maximum intensity is at the midpoint as shown in this figure, then the fixed end moment will be minus 5WL square divided by 96 and plus 5WL square by 96. So for solving stiffness method, flexibility coefficient method, slope deflection equation method, moment distribution method, these fixed end moment plays a major role. So you have to have a clear concept, clear-cut idea about using this fixed end moment. And there are so many possibility of questions asking from this fixed moment. For example, consider a beam having A and B with a uniformly varying load of maximum intensity at end A. What will be the fixed end moment at AB? So what will be the answer? It will be WL square by 20. So this tabular column is very much important with respect to competitive exams. So in the next video, we will see the questions based on these fixed end moments which are asked in GATE and other competitive exams. Thank you, students.